Imagine sitting on a long flight, it's a cross-continental flight, and you cannot do nothing. There's no entertainment, no books, no iPads, no iPhones, and nobody for you to talk to. And imagine that you have to do this every day, 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week. Last week I met with my friend. We go way back, and he's one of the most creative person I ever know. We've known each other for over 25 years, and I always envied him. He is very creative. He knows how to draw, he knows how to design, and he even taught himself 3D modeling and 3D animation. And he went on to be a very successful industrial leader, and he worked for multiple companies including Acer, one of the most famous brands for laptops. And then he went on to create his own company, but for some reasons he came back to looking for an employer. And I was chatting with him, just catching up, and he told me that he feel like he's really miserable lately, and he has been working for this new employer for 18 months, and it turns out that this company hired him, but they don't have anything to make so far. This is a big company, and they wanted to start a new business that a venture. They want to tap into new markets, but they do not have concrete strategies to decide what they want to make. But they have enough money, so they start looking for talents, right? And they hire a group of talents, and of course that include designer for the products they want to make. So my friend got enrolled, got employed, and the pay was really good. The pay is really good. I would say that would be among the top 3 to 5% of the people with the highest income here in Taiwan. But my friend is miserable. He's not happy because he has nothing to do. Because they don't have a product to design, and it has been this way for 18 months. And he told me that he just sit there and doing nothing. Of course, the boss, the manager, sometimes would give him some minor things, something that is literally not gonna be cared for. Nobody cares, like unimportant presentations or the reports. The presentations that are not gonna be presented, the reports that nobody's gonna read, the chores that doesn't matter, is useless and mindless things. So he felt like a zombie every day going to work. And I know how much that could be a torture for someone like him as a very talented, creative person. But he could not leave. He doesn't want to leave. He considered about quitting the company for multiple times across the past 18 months. But he stayed for the money because he needed the money. Well, as I mentioned, he had a very successful career before. However, you could not imagine the insanity that how much money you need to have just to buy a house, to buy a small regular house for you to live. And even so, he lives in Taipei, one of the most expensive cities in the world in terms of mortgage and loan. So he needed the money, and he has to accept the grinding, accept the emptiness that he has to deal with every single day. I like his analogy, just like sitting in a long flight for you, but you don't have the permission to do anything because you still got paid, right? And you cannot just sitting there and doing your own stuff. You have to act like busy, but actually your soul is eating from inside out every single freaking day. I don't know how do you think about that, but I think that's miserable for people who have the creativity, people who are artistic, And even for general, like human tendency, right? As human beings, we want it to be useful. That's the real meaning of work, right? Whether you're self-employed or you work for somebody else. But the reason, the true meaning of work is to be useful to somebody else, to the world, to your consumers, to your customers, even to your boss too, right? You want to be proof that you're useful. And if you have the capabilities, but you're limited not to be useful, and they're just withering your life like a flower. You're just like being like consumed daily and day in and day out. I really could understand that much of a struggle for him. And for me, my job, I'm a strategy director for my company. I am grateful that in my work, there's some creativity that is allowed. Well, it's creative, of course, it's allowed because you want to form a strategy that's working, and you want to be good at communication so everybody understands you, and you want to be creative to align and to talk in a way, to pitch your strategy in a way that everybody understands and they want to follow you. And also you want to make sure your customers, your brand knows where you're going and how you are, physically and intelligently striving toward the same direction as theirs. So in this way, I feel really grateful, even though my job could be very demanding sometimes, but there's element of creativity, there's an element of innovation that we can introduce to our works. So if you have a job that allows this room of changing things, make it better, make it more effective, more efficient, and you have some certain freedom for you to try new things, I'm really happy for you, and I hope that you will still find meaning at your job. And if you're doing something that is repetitive, how about let's try in a way that injects some conception, the concepts of new things into what you do and make it different, make it fun, make it better in a way. And maybe that's how we as human beings can look at the job and make it more meaningful. And I think that is what I'm trying to say, that we wanted to find something that is meaningful, even though it could be working for somebody else, it could be working for you on your own, or it could be anything you do outside of your work. The meaningfulness, I think, is really important, and that decides your energy level, that decides your commitment and your fulfillment of life. That's what I believe. So just like, I'm not sure it was Buffett or Munger, but that's a piece of gem, it's a piece of wisdom. It's like, all my life, I just wanted to be useful. I just wanted to be useful. And learning from my friend's story that you get paid awesomely, we thought that could be a no-brainer. It should be one of the greatest things. You don't even have to do anything. But you're not being useful. And that is one of the most miserable things that you could have. That's my sharing today.